for the next month.
Okay. So just the three numbers like you can call it out three and do whatever you want to do.
Guys, so I mistakenly clicked go live.
Wow.
What's the time?
It's no time. Well, it is.
59.
Well, 1 minute more.
This one.
Yeah, we're live on you.
His phone's on silent. On my phone. Your phone's on silent.
Yeah.
How come you want to use this for that?
Okay.
You already started.
Alright, so let me just move closer.
So this is what you guys do from morning to your daily work.
Yeah. Well, no, that's not all.
No, but that is seriously exciting.
That's not all of it.
I'm
Because
telling you,
This is
man.
seriously exciting.
he doesn't understand, sir.
You don't understand.
He doesn't understand what
This is the kind of retirement job that I like. Seriously.
Valentine, they say your job is a retirement job.
Wow.
Oh wow.
I have my eyes to
Maybe it's just for me to just rap at least.
Wow.
What is it then?
Apparently it's not, because there's thank you very much.
No, but to rap, you must do research now.
It's not rapping though.
No, I'm just saying,
I
even to
understand
rap.
what you're saying. Yeah, we
So
must do
the research
research,
is
yes.
not, but I will have researchers.
Yeah.
When you retire, you're not supposed to do all the work. You have researchers, so your
We'll
own
have to
just.
come back.
Hi there. Let me tell you something about Providus Bank. You see, when we set out to do banking, we didn't just want to do the usual. We wanted to be different. From our branding to our audience, which is warm and welcoming, to our operations tailored to suit you at every touch point. At Providus Bank, we know you don't like queues, and that's why you won't be in any. Instead, we created a lounge for your comfort in every of our business locations. We even have dedicated lifestyle concierge to assist you on your journeys around. That is how we define future forward banking. Choose a bank that knows how important you are. Choose Providus Bank. To open a premium account with exciting possibilities, please dial 012367715 or 0700 77684387. Providus Bank. Future forward banking.
After the first ad.
Providus Bank. Future forward banking.
So I have to move all those things.
We know you're listening in on this frequency. It's not a question of clear signal. It's not a question of quality sounds. It's never a question of an engaging, intelligent discourse.
After this phase, he's dead. I decided to play the bed.
In fact, it's never been a question about who stands out
I think I
best
remember.
radio programming.
So raise your glasses, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, this toast goes
We don't take calls. We're not taking calls. We're only taking
Can
messages.
never be a question about who we are. We are Smooth 98.1.
Studio.
All right, so there we go. So right now it is 2 minutes past 9, and yes, we are in here, still here with you on Smooth Breakfast, Khadeejah, and
Valentine, good morning.
good morning, City of Lagos. In case you're just joining us, this is the Lagos Talk segment, and of course, today for Wednesday, it is a special.
Yes, it is. Because we've been talking traffic, we have received a lot of questions. People making complaints about traffic situation in Lagos. Some people sending messages that sound very similar. Where are all the cars coming from? Why is there still keke? Why are there bikes plying the routes that are supposed to be, banned from plying? But all these questions, we can't answer them ourselves. So we begged our friend and our father, to come into the studio to get this question so you can fill the questions through us to him. And he's promised that he's going to do the best he can.
All right, today with us we have the General Manager, Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, otherwise known as LASMA, Olajide Oduyoye, who is also a fellow at the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, also holds a master's degree in transportation, airport planning, design, and management. Good morning.
Good morning.
It is great to have you here on the show with us this morning, especially with some of the clarifications that a lot of people out there tend to have as well in the city of Lagos. Okay, so we're going to just jump right into it. And yes, traffic. We're in Lagos. It's synonymous. So, what are some of the major causes, major factors actually contributing to traffic in Lagos?
Major factors. The first one, the volume of vehicles in our city of Lagos. We have over 2 million vehicles plying the roads. Second, it's limited public transportation, as in mass public transport system, i.e. train service, bus service that is sustainable, reliable, comfortable for people to feel they can leave their vehicles at home and use the public transport. Then not many people wanting to use alternative modes of transport, that is the water transportation that's available. Another major factor is the business and residential anomalies in terms of land use planning. So you have a lot of businesses wanting to be in the Victoria Island area and Lekki area, while a lot of people that they employ cannot afford to live in the same area, and they all go back and live in Yaba, Alagbado, Alaguto, and everything to do with Ala something. Then you have economic situation and social issues where a lot of people have now decided that they can operate their own public transportation system. And that's where you have the Okada operators, you have the Keke Mawa operators, you have the yellow bus operators, and most of these people are somewhat unregulated, so to speak, which means anyone can just get a little loan of 1 million, get a Keke Mawa, and get a license, and boom, it's on the road running around the place. And because of the desperation to make a living, you sort of like violate all sorts of traffic rules that may or may not be around, and your desperation or your focus is more about making money as opposed to doing the right thing. And then you have the population as well, where over 20 million people estimated in Lagos, and these 20 million people, including children that need to go to school, need to move around from points A to B. And in addition to that, you have daily influx of people coming from outer states and coming in. Another major traffic issue or factor would be the state of our vehicles, especially the trucks, the trailers that go to the Apapa port. So most of them, in my opinion, and from observation and reality and fact, is that most of them should be in the scrapyard, but they are still plying the roads on the basis of we want to make money, we want to make a living. So when you have those sort of regular breakdowns and incidences from the trailers, then that all mixed up in a pot, you have what you will call a major catastrophic traffic chaos.
Thank you very much. That was a very holistic appraisal of the issues concerning traffic in Lagos, Mr. Olajide. When we look at this situation before, like I mentioned earlier, before we started, let's first establish your roles and responsibilities. I mean, the roles and responsibilities of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, so that will be advised, that would inform questions going forward. So what are those? What are the responsibilities?
The primary responsibility of the agency, Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, is to ensure free traffic movement in the whole of the Lagos state. And we were not just talking about the metropolis, we're talking about even the hinterland like Badagry, Ekpe, Ikorodu, right? And that is what it is, because as we're developing, we do not have the requisite signalized junctions that we're supposed to have in a major city or mega city or aspiring mega city like ours. And so we have to rely on our men to feed in or to fill in those traffic junctions where there should have been lights, but we have the men. So the primary duty is to keep traffic flowing and to be able to deal with incidences that can occur within seconds. The other bit is also to uphold the traffic laws and regulations in the states, and more or less prevent people from creating incidences that will lead to traffic chaos or traffic issues. And that is why a lot of people don't understand the difference and the disparity between it is not an arrest issue, it is just to arrest a situation before it becomes a big problem.
Okay. Okay, well, that makes sense. So you're not arresting. You're not there to. I mean, you're not a law enforcement agent per se that's put there to arrest people,
No,
but to make sure you address the situations that people are involved in.
exactly.
So there's always a human factor.
Yes.
I know
So
how passionate people can get.
yes. So when our citizens, our fellow brothers and sisters, are doing something that will lead to a problem based on facts and figures that we have, historical issues, that if you're talking on the phone, the likelihood is like you're concentrating, you're likely to be in a little accident. When an accident happens, it takes average, even if you're good, one person is being holy and willing to forgive. If you don't have that situation, nobody wants to take responsibility for what has happened, there's argument. And what happens, technically speaking, is that I just give an example. If you have a 100-meter stretch of road and you have 500 vehicles coming into that 100-meter stretch of road, if the rate of approach is faster than the rate of exit, then you have congestion. And it takes seconds for congestion to build up. And that is the situation that we are. So when last mile officers are trying to arrest a situation, it is not in their mindset trying to arrest anybody. It's just saying to you, hold on a second, a large lorry is coming, or two large lorries are coming, they're not going to be able to go through. All right. And so you arrest that situation, but the person who is committing it cannot understand that it is not a fact that right there at that particular moment you are committing a crazy or serious offense in their opinion. It's just that the last mile official and authorized officer is calculating that if you stay there for another 1 minute or 2 minutes, something may happen. So my job and my duty is to move you along so that I do not have the incidents that I will have to deal with that will become a major one.
So there are a lot of responsibilities, like you've stated, a few things that you're saddled with in your office, especially as a last mile official. Are there other traffic logistics that you control beyond just? I mean, you've mentioned other means of transport beyond road transport, but I mean, just let us understand.
No, well, I tell you, I think it's an intrinsic agency that works with other agencies.
Okay.
Like we cannot survive, right? Or other agencies may not be able to survive without us. And I give an example, like the Public Works organized agency, right? They go and fix the roads. I mean, we're all complaining about the roads, so they go out and fix it. Now, in fixing it, there will be some delays. Either there's closure or there's part closure or whatever, there will be some kind of delay. So you need last mile authorized officers to be on the road to manage traffic before they get to the area where they're working. You now look at even the llama. So the trucks are there. So the trucks do not have laybys to pick garbage on the road everywhere. So along the line, they have a statutory to clear the road of garbage. So they need to park. So when they park, there should be a last mile officer either working with them or in that vicinity that can say to you, there's a truck parked there doing this, it's going to be slow. So you veer away from that or be aware of all this. Same thing with even federal agencies. You talk about FEMA. We're talking about the contract going on the rail network. All these affect traffic situation where LASMA itself has to be a part of. And it's a good thing in the sense that the hope and the prayer is as we develop and we control technically with technology our traffic junctions, then there will be less need for LASMA officers to be on the road.
All right. So, of course, we have been talking about traffic, which is a major issue here. And for most people out there, what they would really like to know is solutions. So, what are some of the plans to better manage traffic in Lagos?
Well, I can tell you for nothing, I will start from there are 3 levels. The first level is government policies that are put in place. The second one is our road conditions. And the third now is the human element. I can say to you that the 2 most important are the government policies, i.e. the traffic laws and regulations, why you've put them in there, what are you hoping to gain from it, and the human element, right? The engineering side, i.e., the road condition, is always managed because anything can happen engineering wise,
Yes.
but you can still be responsible. So, from the government's point, I can say categorically, um, recently, as of yesterday, Mr. Governor had already pronounced that the VIO, that's a Vehicle Inspection Office, right,
Mm-hmm.
that they should not come out during the peak periods. Normally, you see, it's intertwined. There are so many bad vehicles on the road. There are so many people driving cars illegally. When I say illegally, like they're not even licensed to drive. There are so many vehicles that you know that after 10 minutes when they take off from their home, they're going to break down anyway. But people unfortunately rely on the Almighty to make the car work. They know it's not going to work, but they're hoping for divine intervention that the vehicle will reach from
Mm-hmm.
mainland to highland without incidents, right? So the VIO comes out to ensure that those people don't take that kind of risk because we know the multiple effect it's going to have. All right. And but in doing that, there's more than likely to be obstruction on the highway. I.e., because of our behavior, our peculiarity as Nigerians or Lagosians is that you know you're wrong. Somebody wants to stop you from carrying on what you're doing wrong, and then you're either begging or you're resisting or whatever. And in that sort of melee, there will always be traffic chaos. So the governor said, okay, you guys, you go and carry out your responsibilities after the peak period. So that is a good measure. The other measure is now where the government is also considering how to moderate or to control the influx of large trucks and trailers coming through Lagos. I think that was done before, but the enforcement was not sustainable.
Yes.
And I think we sort of relaxed and everything. So we need to revisit that. There is talk about using odd, the odd and even plate number. That was done in the early 70s and stuff. The only thing is like then there was so much money, the dollar to the naira was stronger than the dollar,
Yes.
and people were able to buy a second vehicle. But right now that we're struggling at 300 and something to the dollar, then you can sort of assume that people would not be able to afford to go and buy another vehicle to circumvent that policy to help influx of vehicles that come into the city center. And so the government is continually looking at that. Government is beefing up the LASMA organization. 1,000 new officers have been engaged. They're going to be trained in the next few weeks. They will be on the road and they will be able to complement the existing officers, which means now they can spread to many more junctions. Because what really creates the problem is the side roads to major roads. And if someone is there controlling it, then at least you know someone is there to allow you to go on your journey. But right now, where there's no signalization and there's nobody there, you just kind of block the road because we're kind of selfish drivers. And so that happens. On the human side, that's the reason why I applaud your radio station talking about this, advising people. But the major help that we require is from the people themselves, the people that drive on Lagos roads. And I'll tell you something, right? And for nothing, if you do not feel you're smarter than the driver in front of you, which means you don't feel like you need to do something wrong in order to overtake the person in front of you who is going in the same direction, you're unlikely to commit any traffic offense. And if you don't commit any traffic offense, it is highly unlikely that any authorized officer like a LASMA man would come and meet you and talk to you. And then you would not have any interaction. The people that have with authorized officers are the people who commit on a daily basis.
So the last officer will not see your face and not like you and just decide to use that against you.
Definitely
You have
not.
to have broken the law before they stop you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Olajide Oduyoye is the General Manager at Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA. You hear the common saying, the fear of LASMA is the beginning of wisdom. We'll be telling you how wise you can be after this break. Stay with us here on Smooth Breakfast. It's okay. Olajide Oduyoye, the General Manager of Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA. I know we're excited. We have a lot of questions here. That WhatsApp number for you to send in your messages through is 0809 444 0981, 0809 444 0981. The first question we got was from Pedro. Pedro said, my question is there a law that exempts bikes and keke riders from traffic laws? The boldness with which they disregard the traffic light is appalling. Pedro, thank you for your question. Do you want to take it? Should ask several questions so you can address
No. I can. I mean, whichever way you want to do it. Thank you, Pedro, for that. And that is always going to be an obvious question. No. The answer is capital no. There is no law that exempts anyone from disobeying traffic laws. As long as you're a motorized vehicle means a moving element with engine in it. You do not have any right whatsoever to jump red lights, to face one way, to create extra lanes, or to be going in between vehicles that would now be causing fear and apprehension for ordinary drivers in the States. So the answer is a no. Of course, the next question you'll probably be thinking in your mind, so let me just go straight to that. Is like, so why are they not being arrested? That is major. If I want to be brutally honest, right, and I hope I don't get in trouble with this, is that we tend to overemphasize on the social situation that we're in, economic and social, which means everyone, the average Nigerian is thinking, oh, Asha Jeon, that they have to eat. So they have to create a living. And so you try to accept something that is not acceptable in the norm. But when the government is seen to be wielding a big stick, it's as if like the government, they're already big people. They don't understand the needs of poor people. And so the people that ride Okada and Kekemawa, they're hungry people, and they're doing that just so they can feed their family. But in feeding your family or wanting to feed your family, doesn't mean you must break the rules. Doesn't mean you must. So the mindset needs to change. And these Kekemawas and the Okadas, I am telling you categorically, the reason why they get away with what they do is because they even get support from ordinary citizens. Now, the government is a representation of the ordinary citizens. So if the citizens are not supporting what the government is doing for a purpose, for a beautiful purpose, then there's a crossroad. Because the government would have to sit back and like, maybe these people that we're trying to serve, they don't understand, but we don't want to be at crossroads with them. And so the passengers, the passengers of Okada, of Kekemawa, they are the ones encouraging these people. When in their mindset, they're thinking somebody else is in a Range Rover, is in a Toyota Hilux. So they're already doing a divide between the rich and the poor.
Yes.
And so they will support the Kekemawa to doing whatever, because in their minds, they're thinking, if I get to the next destination before you, I have won, even though you're in an AC car. And that is how these things have developed. Like, can you not go faster? Can you not take that way? Are you mumu? Can you not do that? Can you not do that? And so it's gone crazy. Now, if LASMA officers or even the police come out on the road and start saying enough is enough, we need to enforce the law, then you're going to have an outcry. Then they change the situation and say, well, why are you arresting them? Are you so wicked? Can you not put a human face to what is human face? I'm already human. Why would anybody be asking me to put a human face to something, right? And so they start complaining because they are thinking about themselves, right? But the government is saying to themselves, right? You guys, okay, I'll give an example. Look at Kekemawa. The tricycle is designed primarily to carry 2 passengers at the back. From where it came from, that is what it's supposed to be.
Not 3. 2.
They actually carry 4.
Yeah.
No, they carry 5. Now they've done an extension to the rider's front seat, so you can have passengers on the front. I mean, that in a way is disgusting. And then you find someone's knee hanging out, and the government is thinking, but I need to keep my citizens safe, because if there's an accident, then you're going to end up going into hospital that we're still trying to keep beds low. But every single day, someone is like, I want to go to the hospital. And the government is saying, I cannot be responsible. I've been seeing this happen, right? But they see the government as being anti-progress, anti-this, anti-economic progress for them. So there's a crossroad of understanding. And I'm praying that it's your kind of radio station that can talk to people, to our listeners, like, listen, there is no government that gains anything from being wicked to its citizens. It's just not possible. What the government is saying is, you may not understand the repercussion of what you're doing, but we know and we're telling you, and that is why we're trying to stop you from doing it. Don't give too much power to the Okada rider. Don't give too much power to Kekemawas. Now they just jump less as if like, in fact, the Kekemawa feels this Okada. Like it can be squeezing through cars. So they will break people's wing mirrors. They will scratch your cars, and they are tough metals. If you've ever touched one of them, just know you're coming off worse. And that is now what I call oppressing the normal citizens of Lagos.
So what happens to the officials, the LASMA officials that aid and abet bad behavior, the flouting of these laws? What do you do to them if you find out?
Well, we in the organization right now we have departments and people who are on covert work, and so they go around. They're not uniformed, and they go and be assessing in different sections and different places where they feel like is something happening, just to checkmate. Where, like I said, we're in a system where there's good, bad, and ugly amongst us, right? And it doesn't matter which of the day you meet good, ugly, and bad, and amplify it, because nobody wants to see bad and ugly. And so I cannot deny that there are some officers that needs to be checkmates. All right. And the system we put in place is just to fish them out. The other thing that we encourage the public to do is that you complain. We have numbers that they can reach on and say, listen, a LASMA officer has apprehended me. I've not done anything. I'm innocent. And the first thing he's doing is asking me to pay. Don't pay no LASMA money, a LASMA man, anything.
What's that number?
I got 3 numbers here that you can call.
Yes, please.
So the first one is 0812 992 8503. I'll repeat that, 0812 992 8503. The second number, 12 992 8469. And the third one is 0812 992 8490.
That's coming from the mouth of the general manager himself of LASMA, Jide Oduyoye. We have questions to go through. Let's start with WhatsApp.
Okay, we have this one by Tunde Busiri, who says, good morning. The LASMA boss giving good information. Is LASMA a revenue generating agency? Because it seems their staff are keen to get you to pay those levies for breaking traffic laws than prohibition of these offenses. And where are these funds collected sent to? Is there a proper vetting during recruitment? Because many staff of LASMA behave almost like social miscreants. And that was Tunde Busari.
Well, the truth of the matter is, it's not a matter of revenue generating agency, but any enforcement that needs to be done on the road, working on the laws of the land, that has financial as a punitive measure, means money must change hands. And when I say money must change hands from the offender to the purse of the government. The LASMA official is an authorized officer of the government, and so they are put in there that when an arrest is made for an offense that has been rightfully committed, then you're supposed to pay the requisite fine. And people should not try and misconstrue that the LASMA officer is there to collect money from you, but it's for you to think that next time if money drops from your pocket, which is very hard, that the next day you will think about a loss of financial situations, and you will behave and change your attitude on the roads.
Okay, but is there a right process? Because some people tend to have this belief that when the LASMA officers collect that money on the spot, right at the scene where they were caught, chances are that money isn't exactly going into the government's hands. It's probably just going to end up with those LASMA officers at that spot. So is there a proper process for that?
Yes, the proper process is a LASMA officer has arrested you for so many reasons. Number one, the LASMA officer comes on the road to educate you and to let you know what you've done wrong. The next level now is for you to be given a ticket when you're taken to the office. And the reason why that happens is the way to do it in a sane environment where we just don't abuse system is that on the spot, I'm supposed to give you a ticket.
Okay.
And when I give you a ticket, I give you a time frame for you to go and pay that ticket. and you have the option to dispute the ticket that's been given to you, which means you're going to face a magistrate, all right, in one of the mobile courts. But what happens here, because of our system, a lot of people are they're so big-headed, and they feel that they have connections. So they will collect the ticket, they will tear it into 4 pieces and throw it to the last man's face. And so nothing is going to happen. So that kind of person would continue to offend and um, commit traffic offenses every single day. I give an example of the yellow bus operators, right? And why are they able to get away with that? Because they're able to lie about where the vehicle is registered and domiciled. A lot of yellow buses, just using that as an example, do not reside where they're registered. They're probably in one garage or hanging on the street. So it's always difficult to catch these people. And so when we saw that trend, it was like, okay, you're committing, you'll be arrested. Let's go to the office where a ticket will be issued and a fine will be applied to whatever offense you committed, i.e., one way, or you're drinking and driving, or you're smoking, any of the more than 20 offenses that are laid down with the requisite fines accordingly. And after that, you give it out. So you go and pay in the bank, and then you go and collect your vehicle. If you're disputed, you face a magistrate court. There are some offenses like taking one way that forget about even paying fine. It's like the law says, right? Your vehicle will be confiscated. In fact, you need to go to a psychiatric hospital to go and evaluate your mindset. So those are the laid down rules. Now, when we go back to some realities where money is changing hands between the offender and the last mile official, this is what I call the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the bad wants to get away with the bad attitude, and they're encouraging the ugly official to ensure that their bad attitude gets away with it. And so where you have a willing relationship and unholy marriage, that is where you'll find that situation where money is changing hands. Except a last mile officer puts his hand into your purse and your pocket to take your money, there is absolutely no need for any money to change hands between anyone on the road and the last mile official.
Thank you very much. We do have to take a break. We have a few questions to go through. We'll be back after this.
Future Forward Banking.
Have Mr. Olajide here with us, Oduyoye of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority. He is the general manager. Remember, if you have questions, please feel free to send them in. Our WhatsApp number is 0809 4440981. And don't forget to tweet at Smooth981FM. Remember to use the hashtag Lagos Talks 981.
Mr. Lajide, let me ask you. I don't assume that you have the answers, but why is there so much traffic in Lagos? I mean, we already expect traffic to be, increased or to be worse during the Christmas period, but it's not Christmas. It's not even December yet. Why? Where are all the cars coming from?
The major reason is that in the last month, the train service from Ogun State coming into Lagos has been stopped.
Ooh, why?
Because of the upgrade on the rail tracks along the line. And there are thousands of commuters who rely on that train service to come to Lagos and then to go back in. And so when you stop that train service, so you split them. So half of that normal commuters would now bring out their private cars, and the other half will now be on the road, the public transport system that is not even enough for those that were there before. And I think that is a major one. The second one, obviously, is the condition of the roads. We would not try and overflog that because either the angels or the devils that is somewhere floating around over the nation, with the rain still falling as of last night. Oh yeah, as of last night.
That was a surprise.
You know what I'm saying? And so even the government will put our contractors to go and work on the road, but once the rain starts, it's a waste of time because naturally asphalt and water are not best mates. And you now have impatient attitude of our people as well. So a little incident, a little situation, and we're all feeling like the world is coming to an end. And then we start doing things. Like I said, I'm talking to the people right now that are listening. If you're in traffic, there is no kind of magic that you're thinking that would happen that would make you want to overtake the vehicles in front of you in the hope that you are smarter than them and go in the front and go and join in without thinking you have a problem. And the moment you see that traffic is not coming towards you on the opposite side when you're stuck in traffic, just know more than likely one bad person has gone to the front to go and block the junction. And what happens is, if the traffic from the opposite side is not free, it means where you're going, you're not going to get there because that intersection or whatever junction is already blocked up. And that is the first sign. So when your spirit is telling you, the road is free, let me take one way over, take 20 cars and go to the front, just know you're compounding an already existing bad situation.
Thank you so much. That just hit the nail on the head. I mean, because already appreciating from what you've given us at the start of the show, the key points are cause Lagos traffic, over 20 million residents in Lagos, and I see a lot more people are coming into Lagos as if it's the savior of the world.
Over 2 million vehicles.
Thank you very much. Over 2 million vehicles. Limited mass transportation means, and now even because of the new repairs on the rail lines, that's even compounding it. People having averse to alternative means of transport. We need to encourage more people to use boats, to be honest. And businesses migrating to concentration points. Businesses want to be in Lekki. If you're not in Lekki, you're not a big boy. State of vehicles, especially trucks as well. We know what that issue is around Apapa area. And thank you for highlighting all these things. But we need to run through some of these messages that we have.
Okay, we have Emeka from Amuwo who says, I would like to commend the men of Lasma at the Jakande Solar area. I see the way they stopped uniformed personnel from driving against traffic, especially military personnel. I don't understand how some people reason. So because they're military or whatever, they have a right to disobey traffic. Some even drive on designated BRT lanes. We have Julian who says, hi Valentine, hi Khadeejah, hi Mr. Oduyoye. I have a newfound respect for your organization. I hope more of your men and women have been told these things you have so eloquently shared with us. During my daily school run, I still come across barbaric acts of apprehension perpetrated by your men and the officers of the Nigeria Police Force on the corridor road between Anthony and Maryland Junction by St. Agnes, and also on the other side along the corridor road between Onibombo and Ilokweju. Men jump out in front of vehicles with spike strips and forcefully commandeer vehicles. A lot of those affected though are commercial buses, but I have also seen this happen to private vehicles too.
All right.
Julian from Yaba.
Sharon here says, as long as we have people like Mr. Olajide as agency heads, Nigeria will progress. From the first, and I paraphrased your message deliberately, from the first set of sentences, thank you. You could see that, okay, please send your message so we can read them properly. In the meantime, we have more to go through. James here says,
James says, my major problem on Lagos roads is Keke and Okada. I bought a new car and within 2 weeks, my car's back bumper was badly dented by Keke. The most annoying thing was that the Keke rider was even ready to fight me. I want to suggest the last authority that any public transporter, yellow bus, minibus, Keke or Okada that violates traffic laws, not only the driver or rider should be subject to the brain test, but all passengers should be subject to the brain test and similar punishments as the driver or rider because of the they've aided and encouraged the offender to commit the traffic law.
And it's not brain test, it's a psychiatric evaluation. Cruz here says, please, who are those men that wear black and white, black trousers and white shirts on the roads with last man FRC personnel? They are vehicle inspection officers, correct?
Cadets, the new cadets that I mentioned about, the 1,000
New
cadets that we're going to train in the next few weeks, and they will be in proper uniform after the training.
Oh, very interesting. Do you work 24 hours?
No, we would love to, but I know half of my men would disappear from the face of the earth before the end of the year, because a lot of people don't like my officers. Yeah, because we take things personal.
Well,
I've taken one way.
Mm.
I've prayed in the morning that God should protect me, but I've taken one way, which means God is not on my side anyway.
Mm.
And then last man officer arrests me, and then I'm so angry. Instead of being angry with myself, I get angry with the last man.